Hello, I'm Debbie Polachek. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to use this Still Scene Snow Globe set. You can get the dies to match, and I'm going to use some of this specialty Poinsettia, plush Poinsettia specialty paper. It's kind of got, it has a flock like on vellum. That's what it looks like to be. And I cut, let's start off with the card base. The card base I used was that Seaside spray. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I made two mats, one of the one of the Poinsettia specialty paper, and one out of just regular white cardstock. And it's cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And I took my die, I just kind of put a little dot of glue in the center of this, and took my die and set it 3/8 inch away from each side here, from this right side and from the top, and cut it out. Cut them out both at the same time. Now I'm going to go ahead and run a little bit of glue along this outside edge. And around the center a little bit too. This glue doesn't show up much underneath there, and I'm doing it very sparingly. Okay. Put the flock side up. Stack these together. Glue them together. Okay, and these are ready glued together. I have a video, if you want to go watch the video, how I did these flowers. This is how they're done in the video, but what I've done to make this card is I went ahead and cut along each of the flower petals towards the center, trying not to cut into the very center. I don't want to cut it apart. I just want to loosen all these up. And then I took my bone folder and just very carefully curl these edges of all of these. Now some of these, since they're cut like this, you might want to trim these off a little bit, kind of round those off to kind of make it look more like a petal in the back. See how this one's kind of cut like that, so that might be a little bit better if you smooth that out. In there, and I did do it on my Seaside spray cardstock, and stamped it and embossed it with the copper embossing powder. And now I've got my bleach pen that I hope is still, the bleach is still good inside there. We'll find out. And I'm going to just give this paper, actually I think I'm going to give it some shadows first. I'm going to go ahead and go real carefully with my light Seaside spray and just hit the shadow sides of my house here, and that would be everything that's, I'm going to say, facing me. So if it looks like it's facing me, it's going to get a dab of this. Okay, then I'm going to go with the darkest one of the same color and go everything on this left hand side. So this left hand side of this house, this is like a snow bank right there. I'm going to go ahead and give it that darkest one. Okay, and this is part of the dark too. I can see on this picture here that this is part of the dark. Maybe even the trunk of the tree, but I don't think it's going to show up. Not with the embossing powder, so we won't bother with that. Underneath this eave of the house, if it showed up, maybe just a little bit. Yeah, probably just a little bit in the shadows of that. The windows, go ahead and go inside those windows. Okay. And I think underneath this tree here, I'm going to go underneath some of that on the bottom side of those tiers of tree there. And it looks like this might be a snowbank, but it's on this side of it looks a little darker, so I'm going to go ahead and give that a little darker deal. And I'm going to go ahead and go back over this little bit darker area here one more time. Try to give it a little bit more color. If I wanted even more color, I could go with the darker. And then go back over it with the lighter to lighten it up. Okay, now I'm going to take my Clorox and I'm going to hit all the areas that are the lightest, which would be like the top of the roof. And again, I'm not squeezing my Clorox, I'm just letting it fall out of my thing. I'm going to leave this side of that roof right here. I'm going to leave that, well, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the white too. And the top of these trees, or these tiers, this is all snow here on there. It might end up eating all my ink I just laid down. If it does, that's okay. The ground here, its face is up, so I'm going to go ahead and give that some of the lighter color. Now I'm going to let that dry, and if my Clorox is decent, it'll be lighter. If not, I'll need to refill it and do it again. So I'm going to go ahead and dry that real quick. See a couple spots I missed, probably on the top of this roof here, the very top. I want to get that as light as possible. The top of this tree, go ahead and get, even though I think this would be in the shadow, I'm gonna go ahead and lighten that up a little bit on the other side of that roof, just because I want to. Now I'm going to go back with my lighter because I want this side of the house to be even lighter than I have it here. The bleach will not affect this color as much of a lighter color. Even could go back with my colorless blender and lighten it up even more if I wanted to, but I think this will be light enough. And I see one more spot that I kind of missed, and that's that little chimney. It had some, actually it had a little bit of snow on top of that too. One more thing, I think I'd like to see my door to be a different color, so really only color that I can color it would be darker. So what I will use is the opposite of blue, which is kind of an orange color. So I'm going to go ahead and use my light Calypso Coral right on the door. See if that will give me enough color contrast. No, I think I need a little bit darker one, so I'll go with a darker Calypso Coral. Go ahead and go in those windows too. Yeah, has a little bit more definition there. Okay, so that's that. And I am going to use one of these. This is out of the copper foil paper. I did use the coordinated die to cut out the scene. And this I cut from that same cardstock, that Seaside Spray, the base of the die cut here. Then I went ahead and cut the filigree area, filigree looking foil for that decorative top. Tied a 3-inch bow out of that Seaside Spray as well. I'm going to lay this piece of my card base down, and I'm going to put line this up so it has an even border all the way around. Now I'm going to take my little cutout here, and I'm going to glue that right in that area, because I do want this continuous flock paper to show even where the shaker is. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that next. Glue it real good. Make sure that's straight. And glue that right in the center, or right where that lines up. Take this off. I think I'm going to go ahead and glue my little center in here a little bit better. Okay. Now I'm going to attach my... Okay, now I'll go ahead and put my little window in here. These are those little dome windows. When I was making this card, I didn't realize that the dome stuck above that mat there. And you see those corners around there, I didn't need those, so I'm going to end up removing those corners around the outside of that mat. I'm going to clean out the inside of my window real good. I just placed my dome over the top of that. And since this dome is here, you don't need, your card will not be away from your, this mat will not be away from your card, so it'll be laying right on top of it. So you won't have you won't have to use any foam adhesive or anything around it. So that's kind of cool, isn't it? Actually, this is the first time I've used this dome, and I didn't realize that. I was thinking it was going to stick away and I would have to use that, but I don't have to use it. Okay, and so what's next? Let's put our, makes it very simple. So I think I want to put my little scene here. I'm going to put it right there. And I think I kind of like it. Yeah, kind of like it from the edge a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it right there. Now I'm also going to take a few of my little sequin flakes, snowflakes, and glue them exactly where I want them to be. I'm going to take that pick tool that I have and put a dot of glue in different places where I think I might want these to be. These little snowflakes. That way they're there all the time. I'm going to wipe out the inside of this, make sure that's clean. And now I'm going to just make a little pile of these little sequins and such. Right here in the center of my little scene. It usually doesn't take as many as you think it would to do one of these, but I do want to make sure that there's none hanging on this outside here, because that would kind of break my seal of my globe here. Okay. Go ahead and get this down real good here. And put a little glue around the edges, the rest of the card. Turn on my hot glue. Okay, what did I do with that? There it is. I'll go ahead and glue this little fella down. Now I'm just going to make a little arrangement around my, I know I want to put this one here to kind of help balance out that copper foil. And probably put one here. Maybe a leaf. Or two. Yeah, something like that. Okay, what we're going to do for the center, let's go ahead and get another piece of white. Put it the very same size as the mat in front, which is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and do some embossing on that. Seasoned Greetings, and I'm just going to emboss it with that same copper metallic embossing powder. Do I want to do that or the blue? We'll try the blue first. So I'm going to use that Seaside Blue. Yeah, I think that looks good. And I'm going to just kind of freehand cut. I didn't feel comfortable to do that. I could go ahead and just make a pencil line all the way around that greeting and the stamp, and it would be a good way to do that too if you don't feel comfortable just going around here freehand and doing it. But I kind of like this shadow look. It makes a good way to do a sentiment without making it look too bold. Now I'm going to go ahead and probably put some dimensionals under here. Okay, I'll go ahead and do the stamping on the inside, and I'll do that with the blue too, since I did the other. I could use the copper. Should I use the copper? Yeah, let's go ahead and go for the copper, because that would look better. And it's a real pretty sentiment, I'm sure. Let's see. May the timeless message of Christmas fill your heart and home with joy today and always. That's real nice. And I will put that in my Stamparatus so I can make sure it's straight when I do it. And if I face, I'm going to put that about where I think it should be. Even amount from each edge. Go ahead and squeeze that on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and check this line here to my line on my plastic lid here to kind of see if that kind of looks straight. And I think that's close enough. go ahead and do some embossing here. I'm going to do it with that, like I said, the copper, the copper metallic. Use my Versamark. Do that up real good. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this in here. I'm going to kind of balance that out so it's even with the globe here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on now. Okay, next I'm going to put my flower on because I want that at a good spot. I think I like it just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get my glue gun. Put a dot. Ooh, it got hot. Must have been on for a while. Debbie must have left her glue gun on. Okay, I'm trying to move that over enough so I can still see everything and not have to cut my tips off. Okay. Go ahead and do this next. I think I'll put it about right there. Have a little bit of hanging over, that's good. And I'll put a leaf or two. Use the smaller of the leaves, I believe, on this one. Actually, I like the one without the embossing, so much of the embossing powder under this project here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick some glue here. Stick that under there. Anyway, that's our card today. What an easy shaker card this is with this little globe. So go ahead and give that a try. It's still in the catalog this season. It was started last year, but it's a beautiful set. And you can put almost anything in here. You have several things that comes with well, you have the stamp set that we use today, but on the dies, it has several choices. I cannot find that die set. This is just crazy. I've been looking. I had to clean almost everything up, and I still cannot find what I did with it. And I believe I had it just here just a few minutes ago. How in the world can things disappear from me right in thin air? Please tell me in the comments below. Does this happen to you too? I mean, am I the only one that this happens to? I swear. I did it in the book. Okay. So as you can see that it cut out the that little scene that I just had. And the little deer. See, I remember having that deer right there on that set just a few minutes ago. I just can't believe I cannot find it at all. Okay, and it cuts that hole, cuts this and this, cuts a real pretty deer and two bears. And this is just some trees that it cuts. I've seen that done with the glitter paper. That's beautiful with the glitter paper. And then it has a church. And maybe that's part of the church. I don't know. Could be. So anyway, and it's a beautiful set. So anyway, with this set you can do those and then those different stamps on the inside. Plus anything that you can fit inside of there. It doesn't even have to be have to be a, could be an Easter snow globe. And most of the time these stamp sets are the size they are in the book. So you can take one of your globes. Even a greeting inside would be cute. Like that little rabbit, or the deer would be too big. But he would be cute standing on the outside. Maybe you can cut him out and put the little fox or the rabbit or both in the inside. Be really cute. With some of your trees in the background. Those little trees that we have and the glitter. Wouldn't that be gorgeous? That would make a beautiful card. Okay, let's see here. We got another deer. Even this cabin here. There's so many things that would go so pretty in there. Part of this. A sentiment that would fit in there. More flowers. That would be a little bit too big. Butterflies. Just the butterfly would be really pretty. And have him kind of fluffy in the center, maybe. And then still maybe you could put sequins in there or something. That'd be pretty. But anyway, go ahead and check this out. It's a real nice set. Here they are. On page 158. They're called Snow Globe Shaker Domes. They even have the little jar ones that belongs to another set with the flowers. That was new in this catalog here too. But anyway, so really a good easy way to do shaker cards. I didn't realize that this was going to be so easy. So anyway, give that a try. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye bye for now.